Happy Amazing Race Wednesday, you guys. We got to get caught up on the latest Amazing Race episode as we await the new episode tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Amazing Race season 38 episode 3. And then after, I'll do a separate live for the Amazing Race 38 episode 4 that will air tonight. So grab a beverage. Hopefully you're wearing something very comfy. Smash that like, you guys, and let's get this party started.
If you like what you see, come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want, 'cause your heart's made of gold, but don't wait till you're old. If you want it, I get you some.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Stand-up comedian, pop culture vulture, reality television addict, Joleen Lunzer here for our Amazing Race roast and recap. Hopefully you guys are all doing good. Apologies for how long it took me to do last week's episode, but we're doing it right now before tonight's episode so that we can get caught up. I know some of you were like, she quit doing the Amazing Race. As you know, this is my first season watching the Amazing Race. And I'm mostly doing it because there are Big Brother players. The whole season is a Big Brother player and their family member, minus Kyland and Taylor, who are both Big Brother players, but they were dating at the time. So I haven't given up. This season hasn't yet sold me on becoming an Amazing Race fan. So hopefully it will. But after Angela was eliminated last week, Angela and Lexi, I was kind of like, I was worried I would be bored. So hold on. I forgot my beverage. I'm going to text my husband, hype my husband, Chalaran, bring me up my Diet Coke. I don't even know where I put it. We'll see if he gets it. He's making us a delicious dinner. So he's probably like, okay, whatever. So yeah, we're going to talk about the Amazing Race, you guys. And I want to know all your thoughts, hopes, dreams, and opinions. So let me know in the live chat, in the comment section, your thoughts on episode 3, which was Cry and Rally. It should have just been called the Train Wreck. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the Train Wreck episode, because it was all about the Train Wreck Alliance, which is Natalie and her sister, Jag and his brother, and Joseph and his brother. And then working together and smoking everybody, basically. Jazz and Jag are just so good. And I don't like it. No offense, all offense, apologies to them, but they're annoyingly good. They didn't even know how to play hockey or skate. And I think they got the goal on their first try. And I was like, what? How are they so good at everything? Like, is it the amount of milk they drink? Because I don't like to drink cow's milk. But remember, Jag loves cow's milk. Is it the cow's milk? What's going on? Thank you, JB. Hit that like. And if you want to support the channel further, you can always send a super chat while we're live here on YouTube. It's a great way for me to see your comment, or consider joining one of my memberships either on YouTube or Patreon, or you can hit me up on the Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Those are available. Jim says, loving this season of Tar. I don't care if they team up. It's smart. That's what they were doing. They were teaming up in this episode. So let's talk about it. Let's break it down here and talk about everything going on. So season 38, episode 3, the Cry and Rally. We saw Rubina talking about crying and rally. And for those of you who might have been or are alcoholics, myself included, you would have heard of the puke and rally, which you're partying, you vomit, and you keep going. I could never do that. I wasn't a puker though. I was more of a blackout drunk. I didn't have time to throw up, I was like, oh gosh. So that was disgusting to me, but Rubina was showing us how she cries and rallies in this episode to get through the missions. Okay. So the description they give on CBS is: the first team to arrive at the driver's seat must make an important decision that could impact the outcome of the roadblock. Dun, dun, dun. Give me a thumbs up if you guys could hear my soundboard. Just let me know. Because I turned it off yesterday and I turned it back on. And I hope it's working. If not, oh well. So we get to see, rather than planes, trains, and planes and trains, or just trains, we get to see the tar people, the racers, are driving in cars now. Okay, cool. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Very big brother of them. Yes. So they're driving in their Porsche. So we get to see driving and directions. And this episode stressed me out. I'll be honest. It was so stressful because directions, reading a map without Waze or, Google Maps telling me what to know. I would have probably been like Chelsea and her dad, who they were just lost. Turner and his wife lost, stopping for directions. Which way, that was very stressful to me. So they are going from their last location to Kuntahora Municipal Brewery. All right. So they're going to the Czech Republic and they have to get to this brewery. Now, the 3 teams that have teamed up into like a super duper uber alliance, Big Brother style. I only have a picture here of their butts. If you guys are into butts, let's do it. Let's check it out. Is Joseph and his brother. All right. So we have Joseph and Adam, Jazz and Jag, and Natalie and Stephanie have teamed up, it's an interesting bunch because it's not like they came into this being like, yeah, we're really good friends outside of this. I mean, they're all Big Brother players, so they all know who each other is. They've seen each other at events. Maybe they've partied together, but it's not like, if Taylor and Joseph and Kyland were working together, or Rubina and Tucker were working together, or Chelsea Tucker, they're not even from the same season. So it's an interesting little hodgepodge group. And so they arrive at this brewery. It turns out they're so early, you guys. They get there at 7 a.m. and their mission thingy can't even start until 9. That is my nightmare, is getting someplace so early. Some people probably be like, oh, relief. What a relief. Thank you, Hype Man Husband Shell, for the Diet Coke delivery coming in. It's the patriarchy. Sometimes it works in your favor. No, that wouldn't be. Okay. But getting somewhere so early that you have to wait, I'm either late or I just on time. There's no in between. I'm not getting there super duper early. My brain just doesn't work that way. It's either now or seemingly never. So that was very stressful for me. I'm like, oh my, what are you going to do for 2 hours sitting outside this brewery? And they decide to strategize. I don't even know what they were talking about. They were just going back and forth. If it's this and do what? Obviously, this again is my first season with The Amazing Race. So I'm like, how do you strategize for The Amazing Race? Like, do they know the next leg of it? No, right? So how are they even strategizing? Jazz and Jag start the leg at 5:14 a.m. They wait 30 minutes for Joseph and Adam. And then Natalie and Stephanie, after having already gotten directions to the next route marker, they got there super fast so they can drive together. They help each other, but they also, because they hope they won't be the one having to make the driver's seat decision, since they already have a target on their back. So Jazz and Jag are like, we already have a target on our back. We're winning a lot, so we don't want to have to make this decision. So they're working as this train wreck alliance. Now, again, they arrive at 7 a.m., all 3 teams. The hours of operation, they have to wait until 9 a.m. So they decide on the driver's seat strategy. So I guess this is what they decided on, which is how many crates of beer each team was going to have to carry and fill. So Natalie decided on the team with 2 women would have 2 crates to 1 crate. So like the lighter load, and then the men would have the bigger load. That sounds bad, but you know what I mean. And Chelsea gets stuck with the big load because she's got her dad and he's a dude. So the dudes get the big loads. So Natalie gives her and her sister like a medium load. And then there are 2 teams that get a 1 crate load. So they're just talking about loads, just lots of loads, you guys, right? Very big brother of them to name the alliance, the train wreck. So this is a newly named alliance. What you doing, Davey? And they're just getting ready, you know. They're welcomed in before any other teams arrive. They open their roadblock clue. Who's feeling tapped out? So for this roadblock, teams have to bottle beer. Apparently the Czechs are like alcoholics. No offense, all offense. They're not. But they drink a lot of beer. And what did Phil say? They drink like 30 gallons or something a month? No, that sounds too much, but it's a lot. So they're just chugging beer. They love it. They got specialty beers, breweries. They're not even hipsters. It's just the Czech Republic. It's just how it is. So they have to bottle these beers. And then the driver's seat will determine who will have to do 3. Like I said, they determine that. So Jazz and Jag, Joseph, Adam, they're getting the most crates, including the other dude teams and Chelsea and her dad. And then when they're in, so when it finally arrives, like it finally opens, I should say, they're still the only people there. Like everyone else is so far behind these 3 teams. It's not even funny. I don't even know how they're this far behind other than, you know, start times and directions are hard, right? Am I getting this right, you guys, as I figure out and navigate my way through this first season, The Amazing Race? So much is happening. And they have a woman basically show them with no words. She's like a mime. She's like a beer mime. And she's doing her beer and she's like, and they're like, okay. And you hear Jazz and Jag saying it. She's pouring the beer. It's got a little foam. Okay, she's pulling up a little bit. It's a little to the left, a little to the right. Stand up. Then she twists it. Then she puts it over. They're explaining what the lady's doing, but the lady can't talk. I thought that was so weird. I'd be like, ma'am, could I get some verbal? And she was like, no, figure it out. So Jazz and Jag are always, they're always on. And I'm exhausted watching them. I'm exhausted. Like, let's go. Like, good for them. They're good at everything. But also, like, I don't like it. I don't like people who are just like super good at it. Like, fail. Please fail a little bit. But no. So as you can see, Joseph's brother, Adam, having a hard time. So once they actually have to start pouring the beer, Adam is doing it, and Joseph is watching. Jazz is doing it, and Jag is watching. And then Stephanie is doing it, and Natalie's watching. Now, Stephanie is really good at beer. She's like, she's good, okay? She's pouring the beer. She's like, you guys didn't know what you're doing. These guys are taking it to the face, taking it to the neck, taking it to the shirt. Jazz is super bad. Adam's even worse. And Stephanie's just filling beers. They got all the foam. You can tell they've probably never worked in the service industry. And now Stephanie said she does work in the service industry. So quick shout out to Stephanie. I mean, you know, she was killing this beer competition. Good job. I'm going to give you the applause break. And the rest of you, it was embarrassing.
How humiliating and degrading.
How humiliating and degrading. Okay, that you keep getting sprayed in the face like a clown in training at the circus. Everyone was just, it wasn't good, you guys. So Stephanie then is helping. Like, they're all helping each other now. This alliance is totally helping each other. So Stephanie goes and not too far behind the train wreck alliance comes Tucker and Eric. Tucker and Eric are a very solid team. They seem to be another team that's good at everything. Not as good as Jag and his brother, They have some failures here and there because Jazz quickly figures out how to do the beer. Stephanie finishes first, but Jazz isn't too far behind than Adam. But Tucker's brother comes in here, and Eric, it looks bad in this pic, but he wasn't doing too bad. He was killing it. So he arrives and starts the roadblock while Tucker finds out Angela was eliminated. And I do have to say, Tucker, that was inappropriate, okay?
It's inappropriate.
It's like she got me out of the game. So I'm so happy that she's gone. Okay, fine. Tucker, have your moment. All right. But some of us are still mourning the loss of Angela's entertainment. But I guess if she got me out of Big Brother, I might celebrate that too. So Tucker's like, sorry, Angela, but you got me out of Big Brother. So I was kind of hoping to beat you in this. I am not the least bit intimidated by Angela. So he had his little moment. Stephanie goes to check, how's my beer? There's a guy at a table who's checking the beer because they're in a beer assembly, a beer factory, a brewery. That's what it's called, Joleen. So she's like, huh? And the guy's taking forever. He's like, that's what I don't like about these challenges. Does that affect their time? Because sometimes I feel like when they have challenges like this that need to be inspected, you will have the inspectors are like, some of them take their sweet ass time. I don't know if they're just told to do that to add tension, but I don't like it. He's like, he puts it down slowly. I'm like, hurry up. We are on a time. Are we not on a time crunch here? He's like, let me see. Okay. All right. And he thinks for a little bit. I think he sang a song. And then she's like, good. He's like, okay, you can go. Sir, hurry it up. So he gives her the thumbs up. And then Jazz runs over because he can't be too far behind. And he gets the thumbs up. Meanwhile, before Jazz is done, Natalie and her sister Stephanie go out and they have to drive to their next destination. So they have to drive to the coast. I don't know, something that starts with a K. All right. And Natalie and Stephanie get the directions and they decide, even though they're in first place right now, they could just take off. They decide to write them down for the Trainwreck Alliance. And I was like, what? That was really nice, but also, what? I would love to see what you guys think in the chat. Because is that normal? Are they just really playing it like Big Brother? Or is that normal for the Amazing Race to people to help each other this much? I imagine not, especially if they don't know each other. But maybe it is. So Natalie and Stephanie are writing directions down on paper for Jazz and Jag and Adam and Joseph. That to me was like, they went above it. That's extra time. So when Jazz and Jag get outside, they see them still finishing writing the directions. And they're like, oh my God, let's go. That's so choice. Again, they're lucking themselves into I feel like they're good at stuff, but they also have a lot of luck of people wanting to work with them and them working with the right people. And, Kylan and Taylor giving them that advantage or whatever early in the game. It's like, why don't you give it to, they're going to be really good. Like they're really, what are you doing? So Jim's saying it's completely unusual. Haru says they do team up to get a couple out. All right. And Monica says, no, this isn't normal. BB is not playing this right. Okay. It seems a little weird. BMFH says Joleen might lose it when she sees how the dance roadblocks get judged. Oh God. I feel like I have so much to learn. Hopefully tonight, for tonight's episode, the wonderful Busy Blue, hopefully he'll be joining me for the recap because he is a Amazing Race super fan. So he can help explain stuff to me better. Because I feel lost in this. And I told him, I think I'm already lost on what's going on and what's normal and what's not, since I'm starting on a season of, all Big Brother players and they seem to be playing very Big Brother-y. So Jazz and Jag notice, oh shit, you're giving us some directions. Sweet. Let's go. If I hear let's go one more time, I can't. you have to stop. You have to come up with something else. Anything else. Like, yay, woohoo, atta boy, atta girl, anything. But, I mean, anything's better than let's go. I'm so tired of people yelling, let's go. You know, oh my gosh. But here we are. So they're like, awesome. But Adam and Joseph are still in there doing the beer thing. So they put their directions, I think they put it on their back bumper. I was like, how are they going to see that? Wherever they put it on the car, I'm like, I wouldn't see that. But maybe I don't know. Can you just put it on the windshield? But maybe then they were scared someone else they were trying to be sneaky. I just would have taken the risk and put it on the windshield because it looked like it was about to fly away. So yeah, they put it under the hatch of Adam and Joseph's car. Oh boy. I was like, that is not safe. What are you guys doing? What's happening? Meanwhile, Chelsea and her dad are not there. They then go to Chelsea and her dad, and they are kind of arguing over, you know, what they're doing and directions. And he's like, what? And so they're all around the city. They're parking in bus lanes. Oh my God, you got to be careful. I don't know how it is in Prague or the Czech Republic, but I do know in the US of A, in Los Angeles, Hollywood to be exact, if you just happen to pull over in a bus lane because you're living in LA and you're living in an apartment with your husband and you need to get quarters for the laundry in the apartment and it's late and there's one place that has like a change machine to give you quarters that's on Hollywood Boulevard and you just drop him off and you see no one coming, so you just put on your 4-ways real quick, he's going to pop right back out. And before you know it, woo, 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 here comes the popo. And they're riding dirty on you going, writing you a ticket. And you're like, no, I'm about to leave. They're like, too late. And then that ticket is like almost $1,000 because you're in a bus lane. And you're like, what? I feel like it could have been 500, 600, but it was a lot of money. And I was like, oh, maybe I can just reason with him. And he was like, get back in the car. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. You're getting a ticket. I was like, oh, well, I'm just about to leave. No. So they were lucky that didn't happen to them. You know, I was like, it's late at night. I have to do my laundry. He's like, I don't care, ma'am. You broke the law. So I'm a criminal, allegedly. Okay. Adam finally gets done. And he's like, check me, boo. Who gonna check me, boo? And the guy checks him. But he needs to redo one of the bottles. Then he gets that done. And then Izzy and Paige are coming in. And they find the directions, thankfully. I was really worried they were not going to find the directions. I was like, oh crap. Then, you guys, they have to go to some farm. And some of them apparently have farming experience. So there's Phil squatting, doing a little squatty potty, popping a squat, as we say in the Midwest when you're peeing outside. Okay. But you have to pull your pants down. So they have to, part 2, they arrive at a field, which they have to plow. I'm like, oh, this is horrible. I didn't like this. I was like, what? So you have one of the team members has to pull the plow and the other has to steer it. And they have to like unearth a clue. I could not do this show. There are times I've watched now in these 3 episodes where I was like, this is really pretty. This is cool. But times like this, no. No. Some people would be like, it doesn't look that hard, Joleen. It kind of looked hard. I don't want to do that. So they're plowing and they're trying to unearth their next clue. Meanwhile, you're like, where's everyone else? Where's this little couple? Where's Taylor and Kyland? Well, they're very far. They are just leaving to head to the beer place. Like everyone's so far behind the train wreck. and Tucker and his brother, it's not even funny. So Eric and Tucker, speaking of them, they get there, even though they're not in this alliance, they are on their asses. These little brothers. And they're able to, they get there and they get it done, or they arrive at the field before Joseph and Adam. Because Joseph and Adam, even though they got directions, they stopped at a gas station. They didn't trust the directions. Is that a little sexism? Because the women wrote it for you? I love Joseph, but I was like, why don't you trust these directions? And then they're like, oh, they were right. Oh, they were right. I'm like, yeah. Okay. Natalie and Stephanie wrote the directions correctly, I believe. So Jazz, Jag, Stephanie, and Natalie find their clues, and they're taken off right as Adam and Joseph are finally getting there because they didn't trust the directions, you know. BMFH says, what's up with Phil's voice? If all of his dialogue is being overvoiced for really? Does he normally sound different? I don't know. This is my first experience with Phil. He seems like a delightful gentleman. All right. But he's always waiting on these people. That's like his whole job. And he's like, this is what they're going to do. I'm sorry to inform you, you're last place. You got to go. All right. So then Rubina starts the roadblock. Kat and Alex are behind. Matt Turner and his wife, Megan, finally begin their leg almost 6.5 hours after Jazz and Jag. Like, that's got to be disheartening. 6.5 hours? Poor Tucker. Oh, my gosh. And his cutie patootie wife. Just 6.5 hours later, they're like, hey, guys. Like, that's a day. That's like a work day almost. That's crazy. Then Eric and Tucker, they get their clue. They do it pretty fast. Joseph and Adam, not too long after. But then when Joseph and Adam get to their car, it was hilarious because it was so, this gave me more stress because it's totally what happened to me. Adam's like, I don't have the keys. Looking in his fanny pack. Joseph's like, what do you mean you don't have the key? He's like, I don't know where it is. Well, because I can't start the car without the key. He's like, I don't know where. Oh my God. They look in the car. Did you find it? No. So then like, we got to go back to the plow fields and search. And they got so lucky as they're running around trying to find this damn, keyless entry little card thing for the car. It happens to be there. They're like, needle in a haystack. So the Buff brothers then bring it back. But that was a little stressful. That was something that happens to me every day. Where are my keys? And then my husband has keys. And then we have a joint key that we'll take when we walk the dogs. And my husband always goes, where's the key that we take when we walk the dogs? Because normally, I'll be responsible for it, which I don't know why I am. I don't do a good job. And I lose it all the time. And I'm like, is it on the bench? Is it in the key basket where it's supposed to be? Is it one of my purses? Is it hanging on a hook? Is it in the bathroom? Is it in the tub? Did it fall in the washing machine? Am I wearing it right now? Because it's on a lanyard. So the key thing was, again, very stressful. Very stressful for someone like me. I would just be horrible at the show. But they find it. Now the teams have to drive again. So much driving. So, right? Every day. Mac, you get it. And the remote. And my glasses. Everything. I got to the point where I have to have a lip gloss basically in every room that I go in. Because otherwise I have dry lips. And that just can't be because I'll lose it. One in my purse. That's how I measure success. If I can afford enough Laneige for every room in my house so that I'm never dry-lipped, that is success at this point in my life, you guys. So there you go. So now they got to drive again. They got to drive to another place. And they're going to go play hockey. And I was like, okay, you got me. Amazing Race. The Minnesota girl in hockey. I was like, hell yeah. I love this. Meanwhile, nobody knows how to skate. Even though they said Tucker knows how to skate, it didn't look like he knew how to skate very well. Nobody knows how to like accept a pass, like a puck. They're just like, I felt so bad for them. But Tucker really struggled. Of course, Jazz and Jag, they've never been on ice. Well, I don't know, but they're like, we don't know how to skate. They get it right away. And I'm just like, ugh. Braggers, like really. They got jerseys with their names on it. How cool. I love a hockey jersey. I have so many. So I would love this. This I could do. This I feel like, watch, I would do it and then I would just whiff. But they had hockey players there and they had to pass them the puck and then they had to shoot. And a lot of them struggled with this. So that is so they had to suit up, receive a pass from a pro, try to score a goal. They're back pretty far. It wasn't like they could like skate in the goal, do a triple deke like the Mighty Ducks. They're like at the blue line. They're like, okay, shoot from here. Jag and Natalie are the ones that decide to shoot, to do it. Jag scores, his second attempt. Ooh, I was just like, oh, Jag, you're too good at stuff. Go home. No more Jag after this. Like, is this too good? Stop it. So Jag scores on his second attempt. They receive a coin with Kachina Chateau engraved on it, the pit stop for this leg of the race. I'm still figuring out the pit stops and all the things. Natalie scores on her second attempt. Way to go, Natalie. And Eric and Tucker arrive. Tucker, he takes like 25 attempts. And I love how his brother's like, Tucker's a really good skater. Tucker's going to kill it. I feel like he jinxed him. Tucker knows how to skate. And then Tucker kept missing and missing and missing and missing. Then Jag and Jazz decide that they're going to give Natalie and Stephanie for a birthday present because it's going to be Natalie's birthday. I don't know, like in a day. Who knows? So they drive to the pit stop together, and then Jazz and Jag let the sisters step on the mat before them. So letting them be first. Because technically, I think their logic was, well, they would have been first, possibly, had they not stayed behind and wrote directions for us. And Jazz and Jag are trying to take the heat off them for what can people throw at them? Like detours or something you guys were saying? For like winning so much. So like, yeah, you can have it. So they get first place and they win $2,500 each. Like, don't you want all the prizes? Okay. Jim says literally unprecedented to pass first to someone. It's nice. I like to see Natalie and her sister because Natalie, I feel like she's been off television for so long. I mean, I know she did the challenge here and there, but it's kind of, I know she came in being like, I don't know half these people. So it's nice to see her getting some love and being able to work with people, but it's almost kind of boring. But then again, I don't know, all the helping, it's a lot. It's a lot. But you know what? After this season of Big Brother, where nobody seemed to know what an alliance was, it's nice to see these people staying somewhat loyal to each other and an alliance. Okay, a U-turn is sometimes voted on. Like U-turn someone behind you, which wouldn't work to stop Jag most likely. Okay. Are there other things that can be thrown at the player? Like, how do you stop what seems to be a steamroll? Because it seems like this season is becoming a steamroll of the same teams always ahead. How do the teams behind, that's what I don't get about Tar yet. How do the teams coming up, how do they stop this? How do they gain traction and get ahead when they're so far behind? Because it seems like they're going home in order of who's the most behind. So it's kind of predictable, which I didn't expect. So that's the part that I'm like, is this how it's going to be all season? But I know you guys can tell me. Otter says, personally, I wouldn't want it that way. Just me. Jim says they need a good equalizer. They need a reset. Do they give those out? Are we going to see a reset? Is that a thing? Monica, so this season, so my first season is, damn. And yeah, and Jazz and Jag have the fast pass that Taylor gave them, which was so dumb. Taylor and Kylan's logic on that was like, huh? Well, don't give it to someone who's really good. You can give it to someone you're not friends with. You could have given it to, Rubina and her sister. You can give it to Izzy and Paige. You didn't have to give it to Jazz and Jag. There are always detours that are equalizers. Okay. So if they mess up, sometimes they get time penalized. Jim says, so like we saw this morning thing, they often will have a train or opening that lines them all up. Okay. You guys are just geniuses in the chat. I'm still learning all this. So Natalie's excited. She's like, oh my God. She's cutie patootie, and her sister, she gets a $2,500 each. Eric and Tucker are in, third place. Meanwhile, Rubina her and her sister are back at the brewery, and she is struggling. She laughs as the beer just like sprays all over her. And I think they don't need, how many crates do they have to do? They might have had one crate. But she's struggling with it. And she's just getting sprayed. Like, they're just going to reek when they leave there. The reekage is real for these poor little sweeties. So again, so far behind. It's crazy how far behind these teams are from the front runners, the train wreck, and Tucker and Eric. And also, here's my question. I have another question. I don't understand. Tucker and Rubina are a couple. Why aren't they helping each other? That could be why they broke up. Because if we're seeing people align and you see the train wreck kind of working together, wouldn't naturally, if my husband was in the game with me, because if one of us wins, we both win. That would be that's the trouble with like a showmance or, an established couple coming in on two separate teams. I would be helping him, and I would expect him to help me if I was on a different team. Why is he helping Rubina? And why isn't Rubina why aren't they working together? Thank you. I feel so stupid covering this show, but I'm trying to learn. But my ADHD brain is like, it's a lot. But I'm just looking at like the social dynamics here. If we're in a relationship, you better help me or we're breaking up. Bruce says Rubina went through all 3 layers of clothes through this challenge. It was so funny. And she's laughing. Rubina, I love Rubina. I think she's just adorable. I liked her on Big Brother. I like her here. I like her sister. Her sister's so adorable too. And so her and Christine are, making the best of it. But Otter says, I heard things were not at their height during the shooting of the race. Didn't see a lot of, right? It doesn't even seem like I would expect us to work together, but it's weird. They're not working together. Thank you, Otter. So Rubina's going through that, and she gets her crates approved. And finally, Chelsea and her dad arrive. Chelsea and Jack, the firefighter. Jack does the roadblock. Kylan gets there, and he starts the roadblock as well. So Joseph, meanwhile, we go back to the ice skating arena. I like how they call it ice hockey. I guess I call it ice skating. But if you're from somewhere where hockey is like a big deal, you never call it ice hockey. It's hockey. There's no other kind of hockey. I guess people say roller hockey or something, maybe in where I live in California. But I love when people are like, we're doing ice hockey. I'm like, as opposed to what? I can't help it. I'm from the state of hockey. So I'm just like, when people say that, I'm like, what? Or when people are like, I don't know how to skate, I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Not everyone is born and raised in the freezing cold north where everyone learns how to skate. I mean, we had an ice skating rink in our backyard. My dad would flood our backyard every year so that we could have an ice skating rink, and taught us to skate. But they're like, we're doing ice hockey. I'm like, ice hockey? Oh, field hockey. I get. We didn't have that back in my day. I know it's there now, but that's my bias from being up north. I'm like, no one ever says ice hockey. Like, people would look at you like something was wrong with you. What's wrong with you? You don't belong here. It would be like one of those, you know? Field hockey does look fun, Susan. But I mean, I'm sure they have field hockey now in Minnesota. But yeah, you just say hockey. That's the only one. That's the only one we recognize, I guess. We're weird snobs for that's just hockey. But yeah, field hockey. Roller hockey, I guess, if that's a thing. I don't know. It feels very early 90s. But maybe it is still. I don't know. Floor hockey. You would play that in gym. So when you're in gym and it's, maybe you're not going outside, then you play floor hockey. I did like a little floor hockey. What? We only have 6 likes. You guys smash the like, please. Please, Lord, help me get through this. Okay? Please. I love all of you. Thank you so much. So Joseph poor Joseph. He's adorable. And he's out on the ice and he can't. He's just like trying his best. They're passing it to him. He's fallen. He's like, what? He takes like 100 attempts. Right? And finally, he scores. Apparently, he's like, he didn't play many sports. There's quite an age difference between him and Adam. Joseph just went right and worked at the store, at the family store for the family business. And so I feel like he's so sweet. Joseph is like, he's not real how kind he is, right? He's like, I wanted more from my brother. I wanted him to be able to play sports. I knew it would be good for him and his health because his brother has type 1 diabetes and he has the little tracker thing on his arm. My dad used to have that until insurance took it away because apparently type 2 is like, this is only type 1. You can only get it. He needed it replaced or something. And I know those things are so critical. They help so many people, check and regulate and get notified of their blood sugar levels and their insulin. I know there's been times where my dad's was like going wonky and I look at him and then his little tracker went off. So I feel like everyone with diabetes should get one of those. Okay, do better. That's what I'm saying. We're talking about multiple things. Insurance companies, do better. Okay, type 1, type 2, doesn't matter. What are we paying for here? And maybe my dad needs a couple replacements because he's 71 years old. All right, going to be 72. And give him his freaking tracker. All right. Yes, he has a lot of tenderness. He's very sweet looking out for his brother. So he's like, I knew it would be good for his health. And his brother, even when he was doing the beer, he could tell that his blood sugar was low, but he was getting through it. So they're just a cute little sibling pair. I do like these. Some of these sibling pairs are really sweetie patooties. So Joseph, he finally scores a goal. And then we have, Izzy's girlfriend. Oh my God, Izzy. Izzy's like, I can't cheer for her. I can't. She doesn't want me to cheer for her, but I can't stop cheering for her. But I'm going to cheer for her. But she doesn't like when I cheer for her. So I'm going to say it once. Paige, good luck. Paige's like, I got this. And no, Paige goes out there and she's so bad too. I mean, no experience. And Izzy's like, she's not very athletic. She's not very athletic. No. Interesting that Paige was selected. Maybe Izzy would have been better. So Izzy's like trying her hardest not to cheer for her significant other. And I think Chada was there then. Chada's like, I'm like that too. I don't want people like yelling for me. He's like, I'm not saying great job, babe. Great job. She's like, sign language. Great job. Fantastic. EATJOB. Great job. Great job. And she's like, I got this. And then she takes a bunch of shots as well. And she was falling. And every time they would pass her the puck, it would slip right through. They needed some kind of like comedic music during these montages Because, yeah, if you've never skated and you have to hold a hockey stick and you have to receive a pass, she was like, whoop, whoop. And oh, poor little sweetie. This poor sweetie was just on her ass, you know, right? I am enjoying Izzy. I don't feel like we get enough Izzy this season because if we lost Angela, we need some more comedic relief, you know? Brandy Boo says, I just never liked Izzy. I feel like when I watched her season of Big Brother, there were times I was like, okay, Izzy. But for the most part, I think I do like Izzy. Yeah, I think I do. I think her and Paige are really sweet. And just the not wanting to cheer for her and the significant other being like, okay, stop. And her having to hold back like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. It was interesting. And it was cute. So Christine and Rubina pass the plowing location. And they realize, oh, we made a mistake. We passed it. Rubina gets very emotional. And she starts crying. And I love who Rubina's like, I don't normally do this. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you do. Like, doesn't Rubina strike you as the type that would cry really quick? Like, she's very emotional. I feel like she's one of those emotional people who are like, I'm not emotional. And you're like, yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Because I follow you on all the social medias and I love you and I think you're great. But you're like screaming at the top of your lungs in your car, singing and I get it. Because I can be like that too. Like, I totally understand it. But you're very emotional. She's like, I'm normally not like this. And you can tell her sister Christine's like, I think you're probably like that. Rubina's like, no, this normally I'm not. Like, what? No, you're like I remember you in Big Brother too. And you were very, very emotional. Let me see. I thought I had a picture of Rubina. So here it is. Let me send it to myself here. She's crying. I'm like, no, when I think of emotional, I think of Rubina. Like, and it's okay. It's not like a negative thing. But here she is. So she's just in the back seat. And she's like, ugh. So she went from driving, she was like, I think I need a booster seat, to now Christine is driving and she's having a little crying rally, like the puking rally. She compares it to, like we talked about. So she's emotional. She's stressed. I get it. As a ADHD person, like getting overwhelmed, you're just like, totally get it. Rebecca says, I didn't like Izzy. I loved Izzy. Yeah, Izzy's good TV. I miss her flute playing. I used to have the sound effect for that on her season of Big Brother. It was so fun. So yeah, Cammie says, I was relieved when they finally asked for directions. So they found their way. They see Joseph and Adam running to the pit stop and think it's the right location. When they look at the signs, they realize it's not the location they're trying to find. So Rubina and her sister finally get to plow the fields, and they got to do it really quickly. So Simone is we didn't see a lot of Chada and her sister Simone, unfortunately. So Simone and Chada are also there when Izzy and Paige are there. And Chada's like, oh, I'm going to let my sister do it because we have dance backgrounds and she's great on her feet and she has great balance and everything's going to be great. And then when Simone tries to, shoot and she struggled too. She's like, yeah, I have great balance. It's like, it's a different beast when you have knives on your feet and you're on ice. It's not easy to stand up. So she struggled too. But Christine, freaking at the hockey thing, Christine is able to score on her first attempt. So Rubina and Christine kill it on that. So shout out to Christine. She was like, doink, scores right away. And they're like, yeah. So they head to the pit stop in 7th place. Now, way back at the brewery is Turner and Megan, the couch making tie-dye couple, and they are so far behind. They are right there with Kat and Alex. So I'm just thinking, well, I guess Kat and Alex are going next week. If this just keeps up, you know. So Turner and Megan get there. Turner decides to do the beer, and Alex is also pouring the beer, and he's having problems because there's a lot of foam. Turner seems to be dumping out the beer from the bottle, as does, I think Alex and Turner were doing this. And Kat's like, why is he dumping the beer? What's going on? Why are we dumping the beer? Why is the beer dumping? What's going on? And I'm like, well, I just thought I'd get a fresh pour. So they're so far behind, these two teams. I feel so bad. And Turner not doing well. Not doing well at all. Then we go back to the hockey arena. Chelsea scores after many attempts. Her dad's like, she's an athlete. I can't go out there because I'll break a hip. But she's an athlete. And then she's on her ass like so quickly. This is how it is. Like, yeah. But she is like a basketball player. It's very different sports. Very different. So they are now in 8th place. Taylor is the one shooting for her team of Kylan, which I'm like, that makes sense. Taylor's from Michigan. Michigan knows hockey. You know, she grew up with hockey. She grew up cheering for hockey team. She had a great hockey team, the Detroit Red Wings. Iconic. Very jealous of them, especially in the 90s when they had all the Russians. And she scores on her 2nd attempt. I'm like, of course, Taylor, you got to represent. Shout out to Taylor. We got to give her the applause break. You know? That's just how it is for us up in the north. All right? Don't give us a hockey stick and a puck and some skates and a rink and expect us not to do big things. All right? So she scores. She's like, yeah. And Kylan's like, yeah. We also learned Kylan was diagnosed ADHD and on the spectrum as well. And I'm like, welcome, fam. We see each other. So diagnosed later in life. So I wish they would dive more into that and their communication style with someone with a neurotypical brain and someone who's neurodivergent, because that's like me and my husband. And there are very big differences in the way my brain works and his brain works. So I would love to have them explore that more, even with their communication. But I feel like we just got a little bit of that, of Kylan sharing, you know, that he's neurodivergent, and then they took it back. But hopefully the last, I don't know, you know, in this, and we can learn more about that, because that obviously, well, I'm biased because I am neurodivergent, but I'm like, let's learn more about that. So the Taylor and Kylan are in 9th place. Now it's down to the last 2 teams, which are Kat and Alex and Turner and Megan. And try as they might, it was even hard for them, I think, to edit it because they were so far behind Turner and Megan. So ultimately, Kat and Alex arrive as team 10, and they check in with Phil. And then by the time Turner and Megan show up, it's like the next day. The sun is setting on the Century, and we are armed to the teeth. Like the sun's setting. Phil's tired. He's yawning. He's like, oh, hey guys, what's going on? And they're like, hi. And they're talking. You know, you can tell they're going because they're in last place and they're like 6.5 hours behind or 2 days behind, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're losing. Okay. And lots of the edit is about their relationship, and she's my better half. Well, I'm half of your brain or something. They've been together 6 years. We learn a lot about them. They're cute. I like this little couple, you know? And they're like, let's not get mad about it. NBD, you know, just definitely some CBD going on there. Definitely some marijuana, something's going on to make them that chill. Who's that chill? Who's that chill and wears that much tie-dye? I wear tie-dye, but I'm not that chill. You know what I mean? So there's got to be some kind of something going on. Okay? A little indica, if you know what I'm saying. Because they were very like, yeah, we're losing. They have a big deal. I was like, you guys okay? You guys, I love you, but you really don't give a fuck, huh? Okay, cool. You guys are really chill. Kelly Cal, thank you so much. Coming in with the first super chat of the live. Says, I sent you an email. Thank you for keeping me updated on shows I can sit through. I will read your email. Thank you, Kelly Kell. I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know that you can't sit through. Yeah, it's something sometimes. Yeah. Otter says they're cute and talk to each other. They're very nice to each other. They're a very nice little couple. But they're definitely like they're high, right? Like let's just be like they got some edibles. They're chill. They're like chill goals. They're like, what up? Money, at least we have each other. And I'm like, oh shit. Nice. Now I did see on social media that after this episode, after they got eliminated from the game, it seems like Turner took a look at himself, I guess. I mean, took a look in the mirror, and he didn't like the way they performed. Like he didn't, not necessarily how Megan performed, but he didn't think he was in his best shape. He said he's like the heaviest he's ever been when you film this. And so he decided to get on like a weight loss health journey, and he's lost like a bunch of weight. And he said he was like 200 pounds. I was like, he does not look 200 pounds, but some people carry it so nicely. And so he lost a bunch of weight. He cut his hair, and he seems to be, according to him, a lot healthier. So good for Turner. You know, get it. Because when I saw him on a live with like Taylor and some of the other amazing crew racers, I was like, he looks different. His hair's very short. It's like blonde and green, kind of almost like a buzz cut. And he does look more cut. And like he lost weight. So good. You said he looked heavy. I didn't remember. I remembered Turner, but I just didn't pay that much attention to his body. But yeah, good for him. Right? You wouldn't think he'd lose weight, but he said afterwards he got working. And so he wants to be ready if there's any other show opportunities. He says, I promise I won't show up like that again and be that awful on the show. But I mean, maybe Amazing Race just wasn't for it. It seems like there's a type of person that Amazing Race is for. And I feel like, you guys will have to tell me, on other seasons, are there people that are this chill as these two tie-dyed beauties? I feel like you have to be a little type A to do well on this show. Like I'm so type B, I would be so bad. It wouldn't work. And with ADHD, no. I would need a partner who was just so patient, so knew how to do everything. And I could do a few things. But this with like the scheduling and the travel and the time management. Oh, no. You have to be fit for, there's a lot of running. It seems you really do. So that's another reason I wouldn't do. Yes, people with endless energy. Exactly. Okay, so people are only this chill. Brandy Boo says only after they're accepting. They accept that they're going to lose. Because they were just they're like, what up, man? What's up, Phil? They just kind of walked over like, what up, dude? What's going on? Yeah, we know. It's like they knew, which is kind of boring that they're not all. I thought you'd have people like running head to head, trying to get to that next spot, try to get to the mat in front of Phil. But it seems like most people are hours behind each other. You have the 3 being in an alliance train wreck who are, up front, and then the rest are like 7 days behind. So I'm just worried because I'm like, how are these teams, because Taylor, once they got there in 9th place or whatever, they got 8th place, 9th place. Yeah, 9th place. Taylor said, this is the last time you'll have to say that, Phil, that we're going to catch up. And I'm like, how? Because it seems like these other teams are just smoking everybody. And now that they've teamed up, they're really smoking them. Yeah, it's very anticlimactic. Exactly, Dreadful. You can't slow down, and you can't get frustrated, even though how do you not get frustrated? Cami says people are usually more cutthroat. Maybe when there are fewer teams, we'll start to see that possibly. Monica says they don't like to ask for directions. It takes over 30 minutes because production has the people sign waivers. Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that because they're going to be on camera. Oh, that's weird. Brandy says it can definitely come down to a foot race for first on normal season. So we're just watching this Big Brother season. Jim says, so maybe this episode they could have to get a train or a plane and there's only one. Okay. I'm looking forward to those episodes where it's going to be less of just like a massacre and 3-4 teams are so far ahead and Jag and Jazz are just winning everything to the point where they're giving wins away because they're like, I have so much. My cup runneth over with wins and prizes. I'm like, what? Dreadful says, I'm going to try to make it through this season, but I can't imagine watching again. The cast is keeping me at least somewhat invested. Yeah, it's like I care about the characters because I followed them through Big Brother. But if this was people that I didn't already know, I think I would have given up by episode 3, which is crazy because I like the location, but it just seems kind of predictable. But we'll see, you guys. Oh, yeah, that was dry. They're in the driver's seat and cry and rally. And I think there should be more crying. You know, Kat, I don't even think we saw Kat cry this episode. I was looking forward to a Kat cry. You know, those are always very entertaining. We saw Rubina, the beer spraying everywhere. The plow, not fun. Hockey, I liked that. I liked that little thing. But Jim says, it is only safe to play nice and share directions, etc., because they're on top. Yep. Now watch that be the only time they don't come in first. Oh, I hope not. They'd be more cutthroat if they're. I want them to be at risk. I want them to be more cutthroat. BMFH says they get bunched up. The lead times aren't cumulative. Okay. Otter says a few teams don't seem to be playing with the urgency you need to do well. Light a match under they start their booties on fire, Otter. Monica says it's better with non-celebrity teams. They play harder and fight more. Not so much kumbaya. Yeah, I'm going to have to invite some guests to do little roast and recap breakdowns. Hopefully Busy Blue, I can come back tonight and he can go. He'll be available to go live because I've already reached out to him. My friend Powell, obviously we'll have to get Angela on covering an episode. Maybe Sarah from Nerdtainment. They kill it over there. They know everything about tar. They're friends with tar racer people. So I know that she could help educate me on this game. But right now I'm just like, how is anyone ever going to catch up? What's going on? Linda said it's a damn ad for Expedia. Yeah, Linda, you're not lying. It really is. I'm going to stick with it, you guys. I said I'd see through the season. I promised you guys that. And even though I was late, I apologize, but I'm going to stick through it. But it's something, you know, but I'm going to be optimistic and hope there's going to be some really interesting things going down in upcoming episodes. Huh? Yes. Don't forget to smash the like button. Thanks, Linda. I'm trying my best. I'm just like, usually I only cover shows that I've watched or been into a long time. Rarely do I just start a show that's this far in 38 seasons, not knowing shit about it. It could be a recipe for disaster, or is it perfect? I don't know. You know, Brandy Boo says it's kind of random, but there's a show on Paramount Plus called Hunted, and it's an Australian reality show with like 9 different teams of 2 who are on the run from the what? I think my husband's playing a video game like that right now. Last night I was like, show me what you're playing. And it was this like FBI game where he has to like solve a mystery. It was scary. But he was the FBI. So maybe not exactly like that. But them Australians, they know something. 9 different teams of 2. They're on the run from the FBI. Oh my God. That sounds intense. I think I like that. I like on the run, you know? Otter says, hey, Jolene, Sandra from Survivor is going on the show Extracted with, I think, her daughter, right? And Sandra is doing so much lately. In the past couple years, I was like, get it. Would you guys put in the chat, would you guys want to see Sandra on Big Brother? Are you open to that? Because I think we're going to get Rachel on Survivor. And I saw Keanu went live for the first time tonight on TikTok. And he has a Twitch channel as well. And he said that he's trying to do the trifecta. He wants to get on Amazing Race and Survivor as well. And we know Angela Murray wants to be on Survivor. So I love Sandra. I would watch Sandra on any, right? Otter, same here. I'd watch Sandra on anything. When she was on Traitors, hilarious. Survivor, love her. I'm obsessed. Some people I see don't like Sandra. I don't know how you don't like her. She's such good TV. She's so freaking funny. Even when she quit on Winners at War, I was like, yeah, girl, just go. I don't blame you. I think, was it Winners at War that she was like, I'm not going to Exile Island. I'm just going to go. And I was like, you've earned that, queen. Normally I'd be like, no one better quit. But for Sandra, different rules. I feel like she's put in the work. And when she talked about Larsa Pippen on Traitors, and she was like, Larsa Pippen? And she had her little lisp because she had her braces. She's like, Larsa Pippen? She looks at least 10 years older than me. I was like, yes. Yes, queen stays queen. Put her on all the shows. What is this Extracted? Okay, so it just came out. Or there was one season this year. Okay. This show looks intense. Yeah, they had season 1 premiered in like March or May or March. So competitors face extreme conditions in the wilderness. Oh, geez. While their families watch via a live feed and can decide their fate by negotiating to send essential lifelines or by pressing the extract button, removing their family from the competition. So is she going to be the one in the wilderness or is her daughter? Was it good? It looks kind of good. That looks kind of good. Keanu went live during his deep dive with Taryn while that was airing. Because I watched a little bit of the deep dive. That deep dive, I'm going to watch it because it's hilarious. I think obviously Taryn's handling it, very well. Delivering, I should say, the information to Keanu. And Keanu seemed to be, hours later, I went and checked back in as it was premiering. And he's just like, and Taryn's like, and then this, and you thought this, but it was really this. It was, so I was like, oh, he needs a snack break or a potty break. That was a lot, I think, for Keanu, because Keanu's reads were so bad in the game that he was learning so much. And he was like, and Taryn's like, see, you thought this, but really it was this. And really Rachel and Morgan were the ones fighting for you. And Riley said he hated you right away. And he's like, well, you see, okay, yeah, I could see, okay. But you guys didn't get feeds the first week. And me and Riley and what'd he say? Someone else, one of the guys, we made a final 3. Okay, well, they obviously didn't give a shit about the final 3. So Keanu today had to learn. He was learning all about, yeah, but Bradley was a bro. He got a lot of bad news today. Keanu, yeah, you could tell Taryn was taking some, enjoying it, I'm sure. But yes, he treated him with soft gloves. That's a good way to put it, Monica. It was very respectful. He delivered it with grace. It was very nice. It wasn't like a C, push it in your face. And I think Keanu was, he looked overwhelmed. And then he went live. And people on the live were like, why are you going live during the premiere? But he's probably like, I lived through that, I don't even know how many hours his deep dive was. Because Taryn would have to explain every week to what Keanu thought happened every week didn't happen. Keanu never had a week, if you think about it, where he knew what was going on or where he believed the right people. And normally they don't do deep dives with this many players, right? I feel like Taryn's got to teach all these players after they leave how to play Big Brother. And how he remembers his notes must be immaculate. Because how Taryn remembers this was said and that was said. His notes must be so good. My notes are so sloppy. You know, when I look back at like these are my big brother notes. They're so sloppy because I'm just trying my best to just write this stuff down. Rachel interrupts. Keanu tells Vince, let's move forward, dude. Dumb, duh. Rachel talks to her girls about Kat being more of a threat than Kelly, who's on an island all her own and will always be a target. And these are my notes from, I don't even think I put the fucking date on it. That's how bad mine. I'm just happy when I can get notes. But I don't even think I put a date. So I would be telling them this and they'd be like, when did that happen? I'd be like, I don't know. One of the weeks, Ava overhears entire game convo between Ashley and Lauren while napping. Lauren runs up to tell Vince about Ava being there. And I can't even read my writing. And the something time. Huh? Rachel and Kat talk in the bathroom. It's getting exhausting to hide my face how much I can't stand Rachel. But Kat needs her vote. My notes are like so. Oh my God. So bad. So bad. And then you go back to Karen Reed notes. Judson Welcher, spread your load out. Load, distributed loads. When you have distributed loads, you can take much more. Sitting on the bed, that's an example of spreading your load out. Oh, what a trial. Spread your load. Depends on the size of your load. He talks a lot about loads. And then I have a grocery list. Mini blueberry muffins, pancakes, French toast, strawberries, scrambled eggs. I think this is what I was going to make for my niece and nephew. A food list for them. Broccoli with ranch, hot dogs, ketchup, rotisserie chicken, pizza rolls. Yeah, it's definitely my little niece and nephew when they stay with us in the summer. Poppies. They love a poppy. Mac and cheese, cottage cheese, oatmeal, mashed potatoes, gravy, sour cream, baked but loud, heavy on the starch. You can tell we're from the Midwest. Okay. That's how mine knows. Thanks, Kelly Cal. I had so much fun covering, and that was it sounds dumb. It sounds insensitive to say I had so much fun, but I think obviously is a horrible thing that happened to John O'Keefe and he deserves justice. And so does his family. But the players and the cover up and all the things were it was like comedy. The prosecution and who they're experts. Come on. You can't not laugh at how ridiculous they were. So what's a poppy? It's like one of those probiotic soda things, like the less sugar probiotic sodas, I think they're called. So, right, Half Irish, it was a good trial to watch. Yeah, you couldn't make that shit up. Like, it was, wow. The civil case, I followed a little bit of it, but I haven't followed it as much. I saw like Emily D. Baker did a couple of the law channels were covering it. But yeah, that was meant for like a comedian to cover it because it was just so insane and so much comedy there. So is that what he said? Taryn said he wrote a book and Keanu said, can I get a signed copy of that? Oh, that was cute. That's cute. Or Taylor and Kevin from BB Can. Kevin from BB Can was a good player. He was good. I remember his season. And yeah, Taylor deep dives. I've listened to quite a few of the Taryn deep dives, but I feel like he only does deep dives with the winners, but it seems like this season he might do more because I think they've reached out to Morgan because Morgan was on her Twitch yesterday afternoon, something. And she was saying that, that was what I was going to talk about in No Offense, All Offense. I forgot that Sharon Tharp is getting a lot of heat, a lot of flack for her deep dive with Morgan. But Morgan said basically it was a deep dive, but it was more of a safe space. That's how Morgan said it, where Sharon reached out to her and said she'd give her a safe space to talk about her game and to dive in week by week. But it seemed like they had, which makes sense watching the interview now or looking back at it, that they had this agreement that she wasn't really going to push back on Morgan. So that's why it felt like less of an interview and more of just Morgan saying what she thought happened in her game, and less of Sharon pushing back with, well, this, or, because she was just providing her, she just kept saying safe space. And that was their agreement, because I guess Morgan, people have reached out to her because they asked about, the deep dive with Taryn, and she says she wants to talk to them first and find out what they're going to ask her. So it seems like she is being very careful, which is interesting. I mean, I guess you should know about the podcasts you're on. I mean, before I go on a podcast or someone else's channel, if I don't know them already, I'll try to watch some of their videos if I haven't, to get like a feel for like the tone of the channel. But even when I first talked to Angela, I mean, we didn't talk about what I was going to say beforehand. It just was like, sent her the link. And I think we logged in like 10 minutes early to be like, hi, nice to finally meet you face to face over the internet, even though we've messaged and stuff. And, I'll always ask, is there anything you can't talk about? And you can't, and obviously at that time, The Amazing Race, she couldn't talk about it. So don't ask her any questions, but she was like, ask me anything. And I love that. Because if I do so few interviews, but if people say, I can't talk about this account, like, then I don't want to talk to you. And it's interesting that Morgan, maybe she's more hesitant or worried that people are going to use time with her as to like make her the punchline, or I don't know, maybe she thinks that that's what these interviews do, but they don't. So, or maybe she just doesn't want to know what really happened. I'm not sure. But, right, you have to, it's like, I couldn't do a deep dive because I'm not in it like that. I'm in it, but you saw my notes, and when one season's over, there's so much I move out of my brain. And he prepares, he gets it. That's like his thing, so it doesn't mean other people can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it, but it seems like Sharon might be able to do it, but not if you agree beforehand that it's going to be a safe space, because that's what she said. And I screen grabbed her talking about it because I was like, oh, that's interesting. That makes so much sense.
I mean, so the thing is Keanu clocked that Vince.
Let me see.
Clocks out. When you caught Vince and Lauren doing the heel, I don't even understand why Keanu wanted her up so big. Round 6, race my tie.
Oh.
As last minute as a Karen.
Okay, that doesn't record very well. But it does seem like Morgan kind of wants to remember the game like she remembers it. She doesn't want to receive new information. She doesn't want to watch the show. Okay, so here's her. She said she's going back and forth about a Taryn deep dive. Here's what she had to say about it.
You're gonna like back and forth about Taryn. I know I am gonna probably speak on the phone and like just kind of get an idea of like what, because I've never done it before. I've never been on podcasts, so I think what's helpful, and this is like advice to all of you guys, if you guys are ever gonna do any sort of like conversation with anybody, whether you know them or not, like always make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. There's nothing wrong with that. There's really nothing wrong. Like Sharon and I had a conversation before our interview, and she just wanted to let me talk about my games. It was not going to be a deep dive. It was just to give me a safe space to talk about my game. And she was going to like, basically, we were going to go week by week. We were going to go week by week. And then she was going to go over just some questions, which is what we did. So I think a lot of people were really coming for Sharon when they shouldn't have, and thinking that this was a deep dive. Like, we never said it was a deep dive. She just wanted to give me a safe space to talk about my game. And I loved it. I love Sharon. She's absolutely incredible. She's so good at her job. And I really enjoyed my interview with her. But yeah, I mean, I totally hear what you guys are saying. Like, doing a deep dive, especially if I'm going to get invited back, makes sense. And I fully agree with you. Like, fully agree. So that's why I said, like, it's not a hard no. They do, like, I am in touch with our therapist that we had, like, during sequester and like throughout the game, if you ever needed one. I will also say, guys, like, therapy is such a beautiful thing. So whether you're on Big Brother or not, like, everybody should.
Okay, so yes, therapy is a wonderful thing. But yeah, so it's technically not a deep dive. I don't even know if Sharon, did she even call it a deep dive? I feel like she did. Or maybe we just did. But I could tell, like, either Sharon was trying to be her friend or she was just being really soft with her in that interview. And so that, I think, not for, I mean, it wasn't. So no, she just called it breaks her silence, right? So she just said BB27, Morgan Pope breaks silence on her game, Vince, in that record-breaking run. So yeah, not necessarily a deep dive. I think we just all
They were just like
mentioned it.
it was a deep dive because it was 3 hours. And they were going week by week, I think. But as you can hear, Morgan, she talked to her before, and Morgan just wanted a place to talk about her game. I mean, Sharon reached out to her, but I think she said if she's going to do that, she just wanted a place to talk about her game. So Christine says she's so full of it. Sorry. Yes, that's exactly what happened, Jim. Sharon teed up the events and just let her talk. And it seems like Morgan, she had a great time doing that. But someone was saying that she turned off her comments, but I don't think Sharon's comments are still on. But a lot of people are like, the way she's talking about Vince as if we didn't see the live feeds. Somebody please tell her Lauren was Vince's number one. See, those are the things I want for her deep dive with Taryn, but I feel like Keanu sat back and it seemed like he just was receiving the information from Taryn. I think Morgan will be more of an active participant. And she'd be like, well, at the time I was thinking this and doing this. Cause I think Morgan has she has her memory of the game and how she played it. And that's what she's rolling with. I don't think she's open at this point to new information about her game. It seems like she has it all figured out. And when I watch her talk about it on Twitch, I'm like, oh, that's not how that was, but that's how she thinks it was. So people are saying Morgan definitely needs to watch the show. Someone says, Morgan, respect your game and everything. You did 100%, but why does she still think he didn't use the power? So she didn't go up on the block when that wasn't the case. I mean, it should be clear with him being weird after the season and talking about her. So people in the comments are saying there's like a little lack of self-awareness and her not, just talking about the Vince thing. I think that leaves people a little sus. What? You guys smash that like for real? 21 likes. Oh, don't do me dirty like that. You beautiful pumpkin spice babies. I feel like there must be something wrong with YouTube. There's no way. Let me double check. Let me see. Oh, I smell dinner. I gotta go soon. I'm like, oh, I smell dinner. We have only 23 likes. Oh, guys, hit that like if you don't mind. Come on. So she doesn't, Kelly Kelso, she doesn't have a healthy relationship with the show. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Morgan. She talks a lot about the game, but I think she just, again, wants to talk about it from her standpoint and her version. So to be in a deep dive with Taryn, I think I think it'd probably be good eventually, but I think it might be too much for her now. Because she still doesn't really, even when she explains about the Lauren situation and people are like, why did you tell Lauren she would be your target? Like you would target her. And she's like, well, because I'm trying to, bridge like my number one and her number one. And we could work together and it just never worked. And they're like, why would you tell someone you're trying to work with, you're going to target them? Well, I wanted to be upfront if I, needed to put them up as a pawn. Okay, well, you weren't even HOH yet. So you're talking about hypotheticals. It's a horrible Big Brother strategy to hypothetically tell someone you're trying to get on your side that they're going to be a pawn. If you say I'm a pawn, that means you don't value me in this game. That means you're not working with me. Anytime you're willing to risk my life in this game, you don't care about me in this game. We're not working together. That's the most clear indication of whether you're really working with someone or not. If they're willing to risk your game and they don't even have power yet, they're like, I've already thought about it and I'm going to pawn you. I'd be like, are you crazy? I am never working with you now. Thank you, Kelly Cal, for the super chat. Kelly Cal says, I couldn't watch at all on my phone or tablet. I had to move to my computer. YouTube is okay. Yeah, YouTube has been weird because I put out a video earlier and it was normally, you'd see so many it was just really slow moving, and it could be because it was a Bravo television thing. And I'm right now really in the Big Brother algorithm, but I was like, oh, this one is stale. That's a stale ass video. Half Irish says YouTube glitched up. Even, Emily D. Baker's chat. So it's been weird. Okay. Well, thank you guys. I'm like, there's no way only 22 of you. You guys are the best, and you always kill it with the likes. 5P for 12K says she's gaslighting herself by not watching. It feels like it. Yes. Janet, you said it so beautifully. She's as aware as she wants to be. That's where she's at. Really. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have nothing negative to say about Sharon Tharp. I don't know her. I think she does a fantastic job. And as a fellow creator and woman in this space, I'm not going to hate on her. But I will be like, Morgan, you need to answer these questions and stop telling us nothing was going on. You know? Is Ava Pearl just going to disappear? I mean, I don't think she's going to be doing any Big Brother things. I bet you she won't even be at the charity event that they all go to in December. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see what else you guys are saying. She can't accept that we saw these players, Keanu admitted tonight, we probably already knew that he was recruited, because people are like, how do you get on the show? He's like, well, I'm not really a good person to ask because I was recruited. They hit me up. And that's what they do. So they hit people up, and then they don't know how the show works. So you literally have Morgan on live or saying, and we're filmed, in interviews going, and we're filmed 24/7. The live feeds, it's like, yep. Even casuals know how the live feeds work. They just don't watch them. We see so much. So I think she's thinking we didn't see a lot of the things we did see or hear about. Good point. Criticism isn't hate. Yeah. That is such an important. I think those two things get convoluted and mixed up on YouTube. Some people look at it as any type of criticism is like, oh, I got my haters. No, you can like someone and like have critical thought about them. I think that's really important. I think it's scary when you like someone and nothing they do is wrong, like me and Sandra. That's like me and the Sandra cult. But honestly, Sandra doesn't do any wrong to me. She just doesn't. But obviously, in reality, I'm sure I could find something maybe. But yeah, a little bit of criticism. It's not going to kill us. You're having trouble with YouTube, Seti, watching my live last night? I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Half Irish says, maybe Morgan will come around as more time passes and more people talk to streamers. Maybe. Yeah, I hope so. I hope she comes around, because I enjoy Morgan, I think what I didn't enjoy about Morgan's game, and what sometimes I even rewrite the history in my brain, is just how many women this season were giving that pick me energy of like wanting to work with the guy. So that I didn't love about Morgan. I didn't love how her and Mickey both seemed to value the opinion and company of men in the game over the women. I was like, oh, I thought we were getting our 30-something women. Like, no, you would expect this with 20-somethings, the patriarchy. But it gave that like kind of cool girl energy sometimes, where I'm like, can't you guys work together? Can't you work it out? Because we were getting rid of dudes left and right, but Morgan was single-handedly trying to save all the dudes, and some of them didn't even like her, like Zach, and didn't deserve her to be saving them. So there's little things like that where I didn't love that and the Morgan Vince was exhausting, but for the most part, she appears to be she was, fun to watch. I feel like she has like a kind heart when I watched her on the feeds, I don't have any votes now. We got to play that always.
I don't have any votes
But just how she makes such excuses for Vince, and how they act like Vince is such a fucking fragile, like, I'm so tired of it. There is nothing wrong with, like Dreadful Ruby is saying, of having criticisms of someone and how they played the game, and them wanting to get past any kind of accountability or anything. by just acting like a victim and acting like Vince talks so much shit this season about other house guests, Ashley mainly. But no one can criticize Vince. He's so fragile. He's fine. It's emotional manipulation. But that's my thoughts. Let's see. Jim says, I did not enjoy the alleged soap opera post, Rachel. I'm glad I was on strike because I wouldn't. It kept people tuned into the feeds, but it was exhausting. Yeah, there was some enabling going on. Jess says, it's the universe. It's the moon. Everything's out of whack lately. Feels like it. Come on, sync up. Do we always have to sync our cycles, or what do we got to do? See, I actually, Hamburger Pie says, Catherine being one of the least pick me. She's kind of pick me, unfortunately. She kind of hates on a lot of the other ladies. And I'm like, why? They didn't do anything. I find Catherine kind of a lady hater. I hope she can grow out of it and grow out of Riley, but yeah. Ugh. Yeah. It's just, Catherine, get out of there, run. But you know what? Their life. I cannot raise all these babies. All right. I got 5 fur babies. I cannot be raising all these grown babies. Brandy Boo says Morgan doesn't want the criticisms for Vince because that wasn't game for them. Yeah. That just shows that it is even more personal. And I think it also diminishes, maybe, I'm just speculating, this iconic duo they claim to have. When I look back at duos in Big Brother, maybe I need more time, but I don't think I'll ever look at Morgan and Vince as an iconic duo. She's really trying to push week 2. I feel like it was such a sloppy duo, and he was ready to throw her aside so many times, and she was the one fighting for it. It just isn't what I would say is an iconic duo. What? When I look back at duos on Big Brother, I'm going to go, oh God, that one kept me up at night. And he just lied to her the whole time. Did they survive? Yeah. But he had final 2s with so many people. He was so insulated. The emotional, yeah, it was just annoying. If she would have turned on him, and whoever she would have, had a duo with after that, that would have been iconic. But just the placating this grown man baby all summer, especially once Zach left. Oh my God, it was killing me. The feminist in me was like, cut him now, cut him at the ankles, get the Achilles, we got to go. Okay, get rid of him. He's no good. You're doing everything. He sucks. Yeah, at least after Will and Janelle were silly and playful. He wasn't loyal to her, and him and Mike Boogie were screwing over her and Erica. But at least it wasn't so painful. I don't remember it being that painful, but maybe we've had so much distance that we have recency bias. I don't know. It was too much. It was a lot. They were a cool little duo, but Will would get mad at Ashley. There was one time Will got mad at Ashley because she mentioned something about him showering or something. And she cried to Rachel. She's like, he got mad at me. Just like a father would get mad at his daughter, what? So, but yeah, they were good. Oh, stupid YouTube. Well, hopefully YouTube, get your shit together. Otter. Yeah. Morgan, it sucked the life right out of you. Right. Ashley and Rachel, far better duo. And now you see Rachel hooking back up with Jimmy. And, I'm just like, oh, no, go hang out with Ashley or something. I'm also not interested in Jimmy and Rachel as a duo. No, Rachel, Ashley. Everybody says I'm an Ashley lover, I swear. So thank you for bringing me back. No worries. Oh my goodness. Love whoever you want. I know. It's just, he's just, All right. I got to go eat dinner, you guys. I'll be back later tonight after the episode airs. And we'll talk about the new episode of Amazing Race. And for some reason, if that falls through and if Busy Blue can't go live with me, we'll do it tomorrow. I promise not to wait a whole other week to recap episode 4 of The Amazing Race. We're going to be on top of it this week. Yes, we are. So smash that like on your way out. Shout out to all my super chatters. Kelly Cal coming in twice. Thank you, Kelly Cal. Appreciate that so much. I will check my email. Shout out to you. Shout out to all of you in the live chat. Thank you for helping me learn about The Amazing Race as I try to quit watching it every week. You guys keep me watching and you keep educating me and encouraging me to stick with it. And we'll keep roasting it. All right. So smash that like, leave a comment after the video posts. Follow me on social media if you're not already. And until next time, remember to enjoy yourself because it's later than you think. Bye.
If you like what you